It's Wednesday, June 17th, and the time for your Barbados Today morning news update. Government made a major change to the severance payments bill, which will see the current period of 13 weeks of laid-off unemployment benefits extended to 22 weeks. Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs Dale Marshall described the Severance Payment Amendment Bill 2020 as sunset legislation when he led off debates in Parliament yesterday. He explained that the change is only in effect for a certain time period.
Our solution, sir, is to so amend the Severance Payment Act as to extend the period of time after which your right to severance will crystallize from 13 weeks to 22 weeks. Now, some people say, well, why 22 weeks and not 26? Because, sir, you have 4 weeks within which you can serve a notice. So we extend it to 22 weeks, and you have another 4 weeks within which you can serve a notice, which takes you to 26. What's the magic number of 26, sir? At this point in time, a person will collect an unemployment benefit for 26 weeks. And after 26 weeks, the unemployment benefit stops. So all of these are the things that have had to go into this equation.
Marshall said the amendment applies to businesses which laid off workers between March 1 and May 30th and is also applicable to businesses that laid off people before June 1 in circumstances where the business was affected by a reduction in international travel and the COVID-19 directives.
But what happens if you don't fall within either of those categories, either lay off between 1st of March and 30th of April, or laid off prior to 1st of June as a result of diminution in travel and the COVID directives? In those instances, sir, and again, it's not science, but we have had an eye to what categories those businesses are. And we will allow those businesses, we will allow the employees who were laid off in those businesses to retain the 13-week right. So, sir, it would have been a wonderful thing if we could have said everybody can go to 22 weeks. It would have been. But, sir, I've said it several times, as we manage, we have to make sure that there's a minimum of friction and waste.
Public servants who have been acting in positions for 3 or more years will soon receive their instruments of appointment. Prime Minister Mia Mottley gave the indication on Tuesday as she led off the debate on the Barbados Optional Savings Scheme Bill 2020 in Parliament. While the Prime Minister did not give a specific number of public servants to be appointed, she said her government was committed to the appointment of public workers who have been languishing in acting positions for way too long.
We have already done it with a number of customs officers. When we came to office, there was something called a clerical officer in the customs that had a whole set of people acting for 22 years and basically doing customs work, wearing a customs uniform and being called a clerical officer. This government made them customs officers, clerks, for customs officers for. And I thank all of the unions who worked with us, including the one known to the leader of the opposition through his senator in the Senate. We worked together to create just over 170 posts for persons who had been in there, some instances for 20 years. We did it and started doing it with the nurses, the Minister for Health will tell you. And it is my duty as the Minister for the Public Service over the next few months to have as many people appointed in this country who have been in position for more than 3 years. This is not an idle promise. This is a journey on which we have embarked. There are those who are already on the side waving at the train till they get off the train. And we are going to make sure the rest get off the train as far as possible. We've said that so long as there is not a negative report, there is no reason not to proceed immediately and appoint those other persons who have been acting for over 3 years.
Medical practitioners in Barbados have recommended the implementation of a policy for the vulnerable population to return to work. This was one of the conclusions of the COVID-19 task force commissioned back in March by members of the Barbados Association of Medical Practitioners to discuss the phased reopening of the country. Our Emmanuel Joseph has more.
Co-chair of the task force, Dr. Linda Williams, declined to comment on the 7-page report, which also warned that implementation of such a policy must be carefully weighed to consider the potential for employee discrimination. The report, which is yet to be released, a copy of which has been obtained by Barbados Today, said the decision to implement a policy that allows some employees to return to work and not others based on a health condition that may make them more susceptible to developing severe COVID-19 is one that must be weighed carefully in light of the potential for employee discrimination. It said the policy should incorporate the duty of care of the employer, the responsibility of the employee, and the ability of a physician to make an adequate risk assessment and a recommendation to an employer or to a health and safety management committee. The team of doctors said the ability of a fair risk assessment to be made will depend on the level of communication between employer, employee, and the physician or physicians making the health risk assessment. The report, which Barbados Today understands, is for guidance of medical doctors and will also be shared with health authorities, strongly suggests that before the policy is implemented, consideration should first be given to the conditions which must be in place for any business to reopen. It said this must include guidance disseminated from the Ministry of Health and Wellness to all business sectors set to resume regular day-to-day activities. The task force listed a number of principles which must inform reopening. They include strengthening of occupational safety and health measures, adapting work arrangements such as operating from home, preventing discrimination and exclusion of any worker based on health or age, provision of health access to all, and expanding access to paid leave. Employee assessment was one of the key recommendations in the document, which advised that no company should require mandatory disclosure of individually identifiable health information to the employer at any time, and that any health information revealed by an employee to health and safety representative or committee must be deemed confidential. Emmanuel Joseph for Barbados Today.
Prime Minister Mia Mottley has issued an invitation to Canadians to visit Barbados and the rest of the Caribbean soon. Mottley offered the invite on the CBC Power and Politics program with Vashi Kapelos on Tuesday evening.
Barbados and Canada have had long relationships, as I said at the beginning. And I want Canadians to feel that you can come home to us, not just in the winter when it gets cold, but all like now. I know everyone needs some relief from the mental crisis that has been brought upon us by the pandemic, and feel that you can come home and enjoy your time in Barbados. We'll wait for you with open arms, and in fact, in fairness, anywhere in the Caribbean, so that I hope that you can see that Canada and the Caribbean, our relationship goes back centuries, not years.
The Prime Minister also gave Barbados' position on Canada's bid to secure a seat at the United Nations Security Council.
Barbados and Canada, we've had a long relationship. We share common values, and we have been working together on a number of things. We don't always agree on everything, but for the most part, the common platform of values helps us to agree on most things. And we as a country have made a very clear determination that we will be supporting your country.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Barbados Today, news you you can trust.
To news from the region, National Security Minister Stuart Young says Labor Day celebrations in Trinidad and Tobago will be held in a different format this year. More in this report from TV6 News.
In delivering greetings to the House of Representatives in recognition of Labor Day, National Security Minister Stuart Young announced that this year's march will not be anything like the trade unions and their members are accustomed to.
This year, as we face a global pandemic that is COVID-19, the labor movement's celebrations of Labor Day on Friday will be of a different type and one that is totally supported by the government. And the labor movement's leaders, their current leaders.
And finally, 6 U.S. states on Tuesday hit record highs in new coronavirus cases, even as they moved forward with reopening their economies. More in this report from Reuters TV.
States like Florida might be open for business, but it's coming at a high cost. Record-breaking levels of coronavirus cases. The southern state, along with Arizona, both reported record increases in new cases on Tuesday, as half a dozen U.S. states now face a surge in new infections and rising hospitalizations. At the Tucson Medical Center in Arizona, just a single ICU bed for COVID-19 patients was available on Monday, according to a hospital representative. While in Texas, Governor Greg Abbott on Tuesday said the number of people hospitalized from the coronavirus a day before hit a record high of more than 2,300.
We remain laser focused on maintaining abundant hospital capacity.
And in Oklahoma, the state health department on Tuesday said the state set a record on new cases. Yet, despite the rise, President Donald Trump still plans to hold an indoor rally in Tulsa on Saturday.
Email updates or like us on Facebook and sign up for our breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We're also on Izumi Media in bus terminals, as well as screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. And you can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM and Capital Media HD 99.3 FM.